people? Yes, I am standing up. I'm gonna try this for a bit. I may stand up and sit down, but I've heard that, I guess Nick Ricada and a bunch of other people have said that streaming standing up has been helping them with their back stuff. So I'm gonna try doing that, and maybe if I move around a little bit, shift my weight a little bit, my hips won't hurt, because I just sat down and I was like, oh my god, that really hurts. So, hopefully, the standing up thing works, and I won't be in so much pain. And also, it might help me not be all sleepy like. So that's two things in one fell swoop, as they say. I hope everyone is having a good Thursday. Yes, that's what day it is. Thursday. And I know we're kind of all scrambled out of order with the schedule and everything, but I have some things that I wanted to go over, and as I didn't stream last night, I figured that it would be a good idea. I'm still in frame? Oh, good. Good. Very good. Okay. So, yeah, there's some things that I wanted to cover. So we'll do that, and I hope that this works out. Let's pop over to the live screen. Now we're going to, where should we start? We're gonna start with good old, well, we're gonna save the question period stuff for a little bit, and further on into the stream, when there's more people. Let's learn about Sniper Wolf. Apparently, she's getting sued and divorced. So let's find out why, shall we? Let's find out why Sniper Wolf is getting sued and divorced. Tell us.
So this influencer is really popular and really successful, but she has a problem. This guy is after a big chunk of her money. So one day, a long time ago, she would play video games online, and she met this guy. Let's call her Assassin Dog, and him Bacon. So Assassin Dog and Bacon...
Assassin Dog and Bacon? Oh my god. I love this. I love how this is... I love how everybody's gonna know who this is, but they're changing the name.
Become friends.
Great.
But Bacon is really into her, and he's a smooth talker.
I got a message from this guy, and he was like, I would drag my balls through a field of broken glass just to hear you fart through a walkie-talkie.
And I guess that
Ew.
did it, because Assassin Dog fell in love. But
what the fuck? Who the fuck says that, and who the fuck thinks that's hot?
Bacon, he suddenly approached her with an idea. They would create a new YouTube channel together, a gaming channel, where he would play the games and he'd send her the footage. And she would pretend she was playing and react. So he would be behind the scenes, She would be the face, and they'd co-own it 50-50. And
holy shit, really? So he was gonna send her the gameplay footage. She was gonna pretend to be playing the game and just react to it.
the business plan worked, like really well. The channel blew up, getting tens of millions of followers over the years. And they started other channels together, those channels blew up too. Then they get this other idea to evolve away from gaming and into more reaction content, where
reaction, yes. Where she pretends to react to things.
basically Assassin Dog would watch TikToks and react like,
Whoa!
and Bacon would allegedly still be the brains of it, working behind the scenes. And those videos blew up, eventually getting the main YouTube channel to over 34 million subscribers.
I have no idea how some people can get so big being so dishonest. And Don't think about it, press.
Now this couple, who at this point was married, they were raking in tons of cash. They buy a $7 million house. She
God
wins a
damn.
Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards for gaming. Things were going great for them. Until they weren't. One day, sadly, they split up and filed for divorce.
We broke up. He broke up with me. We still have a house. We have a house together. He doesn't want to leave. I don't want to leave.
And that is where
Oh,
it got
dear.
real
That's a problem. If neither of you want to leave, but one of you doesn't want to be with the other one, that's a problem.
ugly. She allegedly started doing brand deals without him and taking all the money. She created several spin-off YouTube channels using the company name. She allegedly changed the passwords on the Instagram account they co-owned,
shit.
locking him out. She stole hard drives and phones out of the house that had company data on them.
Allegedly.
And Bacon, he sees all this and he's pissed. So
Well, yeah, if any of that is true, that's intellectual property theft.
he changes the password and locks her out of the main YouTube channel. You know, the one with 34 million subscribers. So they're both holding hostage. Like I said, real ugly. Now, eventually, she returned the devices and he let her into the YouTube. But that wasn't enough of a resolution, because he sued her. And in the lawsuit, he basically argues that she can't go on and use the brand to make money and exclude him from all that revenue. Because remember, they started it together, and he claims he owns 50%. Now,
Well, technically he's right, because they started it together, then they got married, then they both received the benefit of all the money during the marriage. So at least he's legally entitled to half of everything that they earned during the marriage. And if she's going to continue on, yeah, he does deserve royalties. Because it is something that they co-owned, co-created, and had while they were married.
Now, this lawsuit, it's still pending. But let me say this. Most of this information is
Alleged.
and all based on the complaint in the lawsuit he filed. So this whole story is all from his perspective. We don't yet know what her perspective is, or how she's gonna react to this, but I imagine she's probably gonna react like,
Whoa!
so this
Yeah,
influencer
probably.
is really popular and really successful. But
Because she's very, 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 very vapid. I'm sorry, she is. I've listened to some of her stuff. It makes me lose faith in all of humanity. Yeah. Yeah. Those clips. StarTix. Okay, well, are you planning something? Dashcam catches cop crashing his own car. Oh, Audit the Audit, what have you discovered for us? I've posted this in Reddit and Twitter, and I didn't get a chance to put it in Discords, but welcome to Audit the Audit.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers speeding laws, distracted driving, and officer-involved accidents, and is brought
Speeding, distracted driving, and officer-involved accidents. Gee!
to us by Cleveland Area Body Cameras channel. Be sure
Who
to check out the
could have
description
been
below
doing all
and
of
give them the
those
credit
things?
they deserve. On May 22nd, 2021, Officer Daniel Waters of the Brunswick Police Department was driving behind Navy veteran Alexander Kopiec on State Route 303 in Brunswick, Ohio. When Mr. Kopiec stopped to avoid hitting a family of geese crossing the road, Officer Waters failed to stop his vehicle in time and rear-ended Mr. Kopiec's vehicle.
Oh, so he was following way too closely. So the guy stopped so as not to hit all the birds, and this police officer went smashy into this guy's car.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I was slowing down. There was a bunch of things in the road. I didn't want him to get in.
Yeah, I just saw you. Oh, man.
You just saw him.
All right. Looks like I hit your tire.
That's all good. good?
Yeah.
We're good. Thanks, man.
Looks like I hit your tire with my bumper.
It looks like I hit your tire with my bumper. I love how he's like trying to pass it off like, oh dear, oh whoopsie, oh golly gee.
I think so.
All right, let's pull off and
Like, I know it's
yeah,
not
check
a
everything out.
major accident, but still.
I think so. All right. You are okay though?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I'll be damned, man.
These things on here are awesome.
No.
I think it was a combination. Let me call my sergeant real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 23. Is Sergeant Cal available? I know they're doing roll call right now.
I need my sergeant. I made an oopsie. I was tailgating too close and I fucked up.
Looks like it's just that. And yeah.
Officer Waters and Mr. Kopiak inspect the damage to their vehicles and find that the accident caused more damage to the police cruiser than Mr. Kopiak's vehicle. Regardless of the damage sustained by the vehicles, in most situations, the second driver in a rear-end collision will be found to be at fault for the accident. According to Section 4511.34 of the Ohio Revised Code, quote, "The operator of a motor vehicle shall not follow another vehicle more closely than is reasonable and prudent, having due regard for the speed of such vehicle and the traffic upon and the condition of the highway."
Even me not being a driver knows that. You don't follow so close that if the person in front of you has to stop for any reason, that you can't stop without hitting them.
Similarly, Section 4511.21 of the Ohio Revised Code and Brunswick City Ordinance 434.03a both state that, quote, "No person shall operate a motor vehicle at a speed greater or less than is reasonable or proper, having due regard to the traffic, surface, and width of the street or highway and any other conditions. And no person shall drive any motor vehicle in and upon any street or highway at a greater speed than will permit the person to bring it to a stop within the assured clear distance ahead." Generally, if a rear-end collision results from the second driver violating either of these statutes or engaging in other negligent behavior, such as distracted driving,
yeah, like I just saw you, as he says on his frickin' body camera.
the second driver will be found at fault for the accident.
Or I looked up and bam, as the driver in my accident said.
However, the first driver may be at fault for a rear-end collision if they engage in negligent or reckless driving behaviors, such as suddenly stopping or reversing, driving with non-functional brake lights, or driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. There may also be situations where both parties are found to be at fault for an accident. Under Ohio's contributory fault law, which is codified in Section 2315.33 of the Ohio Revised Code, a percentage of fault will be assigned to each driver, and a driver can only recover monetary damages in a lawsuit if they were less than 50% responsible for the accident.
That makes sense. That does make sense. If you are at least 50% culpable or more, then you shouldn't recoup. That does make sense to me.
When a driver is partially at fault for an accident, the amount of compensation they can receive will be reduced in proportion to their own fault. In this rear-end collision, it is clear that Officer Waters was at least mostly at fault for the accident. Although Mr. Kopiak did stop quickly, Officer Waters would likely have had plenty of time to stop his vehicle if he was paying more attention to the road or driving at a slower speed.
Right. If he had left more space and he was paying attention, there would not have been this crash.
Therefore, even if Mr. Kopiak was partially responsible for the accident, a court would likely conclude he was far less than 50% responsible and would be able to collect damages in a lawsuit.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Sergeant Cal. Just involved in a small fender bender on 303. We're pulled off into the clinic.
I'm just involved in a small fender bender. I love how he says that. The way that he words that is yeah, I'm just involved. It doesn't make it sound like he caused the fender bender. He's just I'm just involved in a small fender bender. Well, what do you mean you're involved? What's your involvement?
Definitely looks like it's depressed a bit because the tire's normally vertical. But as far as
nothing structural. Let me get some.
The only thing that I can see just by looking at it is like the frame here that's holding it kind of cracked.
Okay.
So it'd need a new one, but I think the back goes okay. I wouldn't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a mechanic either, so I can't say for sure.
Yo, did this thing do more damage to your car than you did to mine?
That's what it looks like. These things are designed to be crumpled.
Yeah.
So in the front.
That makes sense. Well, I don't know what to do now.
Well, I'm already here, so.
Well,
I mean,
that's true.
The Navy guy's being kind of cool. Like, there's nothing he can really do in the situation. He's not hurt, right? His car isn't fucked up. So, you know, there's no reason for him to get crazy and angry. Why did the body cam audio go away?
so.
That was interesting.
He was stopped in traffic because there were some geese. I was checking something on my MBT, which I know we're not supposed to. And looked up, he was braking. I hit my brakes and rear-ended him.
Oh, shit. He just admitted to doing something he knows he's not supposed to do. Dumbass. Fucking dumbass. I mean, he is following the no self-snitching rule, I guess, but...
He's not injured. The damage looks to be to the mounting bracket on his tire, but the door seems like it's okay. We're not sure. I took some pictures.
Okay.
And then up here,
Nah.
moved the push bar and dented the hood.
Officer Waters admits that he hit Mr. Kopiak's
The
vehicle.
sergeant sounds like he's just like,
Because
okay.
he was using his MDT while driving. An MDT, or Mobile Data Terminal, is a cruiser-mounted portable tablet or laptop-style computer used by law enforcement officers to securely communicate with dispatch and access records, systems, or other available information. Section 4511.204 of the Ohio Revised Code states that, quote, "No person shall drive a motor vehicle on any street, highway, or property open to the public for vehicular traffic while using a handheld electronic wireless communications device to write, send, or read a text-based communication."
Oh, do you mean like a mobile data terminal, perhaps? Jesus Christ. Why would you do that, dude? Oh, man. That's just dumb.
The statute goes on to define electronic wireless communications devices as including wireless telephones, text messaging devices, personal digital assistants, computers, including laptop computers and computer tablets, and, quote, "any other substantially similar wireless device that is designed or used to communicate text." While the case law interpreting the statute is incredibly limited, it seems that an MDT would fall under the definition of an electronic wireless communication device.
Oh, absolutely it would. I don't see how it wouldn't be distracted driving for a police officer to be looking at his terminal instead of the road. I don't, like, they're not immune to distracted driving. I don't understand how that would be any different. Like, that's what your radio is for. To hear what's going on while you're driving. And then you pull over, and then you use your terminal.
Although it should be noted that the statute explicitly states that it does not apply to, quote, "a person operating a commercial truck while using a mobile data terminal that transmits and receives data." Nonetheless, the statute does not create an exception for police officers using an MDT. And if Officer Waters was using his MDT to write, send, or read a text-based communication, a court could determine that he violated this statute.
Also, if you're a commercial vehicle and you have a terminal, it should still be, like, safe. Like, I know they have time schedules to follow and everything. But wouldn't it be just safer and better for the livelihood of the driver and for the financial livelihood of the company for him to just quickly pull over and use his terminal?
In addition to prohibiting the use of wireless communications devices, Ohio law also allows for a harsher penalty when certain traffic offenses are committed because the driver was distracted. According to section 4511.991 of the Ohio Revised Code, being distracted while operating a vehicle means using a handheld electronic wireless communications device, with certain exceptions.
Oh, okay. Also, he was distracted because he was probably running the guy's plate. Anytime an officer has been that close, they've been running my plate. Ah, interesting. Interesting. So he was probably close enough to try to read the license plate, and then Buddy stopped so that he wouldn't hit the geese. And the officer was too busy, like, reading or typing into the terminal, and he hit him.
Or, quote, engaging in any activity that is not necessary to the operation of a vehicle and impairs, or reasonably would be expected to impair, the ability of the operator to drive the vehicle safely. If an individual violates certain traffic laws while distracted, and the distracting activity is a, quote, contributing factor to the commission of the violation, the driver may be subject to an additional fine of not more than $100. Here, although Officer Waters was not using a handheld electronic device, it is possible that a court could conclude that using his MDT constituted distracted driving under the second part of this statute.
I think it does, but I mean, I'm not I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a judge, but I absolutely think that it stands under distracted driving. I don't think a police officer is, like I said, immune from being distracted.
We got his info.
Yep.
You're okay?
Yes, sir.
Can you have your seatbelt on?
Yes.
That sergeant sounds
Where was that?
pissed.
Somewhere here.
Right in front of Arby's.
Oh, you guys were coming.
Yeah, I was heading last.
Okay.
That sergeant does not sound happy right now. He's like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Alright, we got all the information from him.
Mm-hmm.
We got his. You run his driver's license?
Yeah.
Dispatch has it?
No.
No.
I just called in to you. I didn't call it as a code 2. Because I wasn't sure how to call it out.
Officer Waters informed Sergeant Cal that he did not call the accident into dispatch because he was not sure of the procedure for doing so in this situation.
But he just said what the code was. So there is a procedure. So he's like, I didn't follow the procedure because I didn't know what the procedure was.
While officer-involved traffic accidents are rare, they are still more common than most citizens might believe. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, motor vehicle-related incidents are one of the leading causes of line-of-duty law enforcement officer deaths. Between 2011 and 2020, 454 officers died in motor vehicle-related accidents, including crashes and being hit by a vehicle while on foot, which constituted 1/3 of all line-of-duty deaths. Of the 1,387 officer line-of-duty deaths during this period, 286 officers were killed in vehicle crashes, and 114 were killed after being struck by a vehicle. The CDC identifies certain behavior-related hazards that put officers at risk of a crash on the job, including not wearing a seatbelt, speeding, particularly through intersections, being distracted while using a mobile data terminal or other...
They call it out. The CDC even calls it out. Oh man, that's hilarious.
In-care electronics, like Officer Waters was here, and experiencing tunnel vision from increased stress.
Yeah.
According to a Columbus, Ohio news station's 2021
makes
analysis
sense.
of data from the Ohio Department of Public Safety, more than 16,000 emergency response vehicles had been involved in crashes in the 5 previous years in Ohio alone, and 70% of those cases involved police cars. Despite the prevalence...
That is crazy. 16,000 emergency vehicle accidents in 5 years, 70% of which are police officers. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. See, they should not be allowed to mute their... No, they shouldn't. I want to know what that big chunk of missing audio was.
Prevalence of officer-involved crashes. Ohio's broad municipal immunity laws often leave the civilian drivers involved in these accidents without compensation. Under Section 2744.02 of the Ohio Revised Code, quote, political subdivisions are liable for injury, death, or loss to person or property caused by the negligent operation of any motor vehicle by their employees when the employees are engaged within the scope of their employment and authority. However, the statute also creates so-called full defenses to liability that grant immunity to the city in various situations, including when, quote, a member of a municipal corporation police department or any other police agency was operating a motor vehicle while responding to an emergency call, and the operation of the vehicle did not constitute willful or wanton misconduct.
I don't like, so if they're in the middle of a car chase maybe and they accidentally hit somebody, they're not liable. Okay, I get that. But if, this is not that. There's clearly no emergency phone call. He's not freaked out. He's calm. He's not in a hurry or anything like that.
Section 2744.01 of the Ohio Revised Code defines an emergency call as, quote, a call to duty, including but not limited to communications from citizens, police dispatches, and personal observations by peace officers of inherently dangerous situations that demand an immediate response on the part of a peace officer. Because of the wide range of situations that would fit this definition of an emergency call, the Columbus News State found that in reviewing 108 claims filed with City Attorney Zach Klein's office since 2018, the city claimed immunity and denied payment in 60% of the cases. In this situation, because
that is crazy. 60%.
Officer Waters did not appear to be responding to an emergency call, a court would likely conclude that the city would be liable for any injuries Mr. Kopiak sustained and any damage to his vehicle.
You got your driver's license, partner? What about his insurance info?
Insurance information, driver's license I got.
Are you the registered owner?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, here's your driver's license back. Let me see this, make sure we got everything.
Yeah, that sergeant sounds so annoyed.
Now here's the report number. It won't be done until probably Monday. The traffic sergeant approves it. I had to just call your insurance company and say, hey, I was in an accident.
Yeah, you
Here's
can't
report
be a
number
corrupt
from
fuck
the
if
PD,
you record
the
yourself
date,
doing
and they
everything
should
like
get
that.
all of
That's
us,
true.
and so we can email it to them, fax it to them, however they want to do it, and they'll get the report and take care of the vehicle or whatever you need that way. So,
Okay.
All right, man. If you're good, sorry. I'll slap him around later.
Thanks
on
for
your behalf, but
thanks for being on the scene so quick. I appreciate it.
yeah, well, I would have been here quicker, but we had roll call already at 6 o'clock.
Oh no,
so
The sergeant though does. I'll slap him around later. That's funny.
yeah, there's nothing else you need, man. You're all
He's
set.
pissed.
You're a
That
Navy
that
guy.
sergeant
Yes,
is
sir.
not
Appreciate your
happy.
service. Thank you.
Hey, you as well.
Thank you. Well, here's your punishment. You get to go do the OH1.
Well, probably deserve more than that, but
Well, you probably take it. So.
After the accident, Sergeant Cal filed a police report regarding the accident, noting that Officer Waters rear-ended Mr. Kopiak because he was distracted by, quote, other activity with an electronic device. Officer Waters was also cited for a violation of Brunswick City Ordinance 434.03a, and on June 8, 2021, he pled guilty and paid a $190 fine. On February 7,
Ouch.
2022, another accident report shows that Officer Waters was involved in another rear-end collision when driving a police vehicle on the same road. He was once again cited under Ordinance 434.03a, and on
Jesus
February
Christ,
23, 2022,
dude.
he again pled guilty and paid another $190 fine. Overall, Officer Waters gets a B.
What the fuck? What? You didn't learn from the first one?
Because although he
Holy
caused an
shit.
accident by driving recklessly, he immediately owned up to his mistake, reported the situation to his sergeant, and maintained a professional and apologetic demeanor throughout the encounter. I commend Officer Waters for having the integrity to report the accident and admit to fault, and not attempting to place the blame on Mr. Kopiak in any way. However, the fact that Officer Waters was involved in another rear-end collision in a police cruiser less than a year later is concerning, and I would encourage him to drive more
Very
responsibly before he
concerning.
injures someone else or himself himself in yet another accident. Sergeant Cal gets an A+ for responding personally to the call, completing an objective accident report on the incident, and allowing Officer Waters to be cited for his negligent driving instead of showing him any sort of favoritism. Although it is unclear whether Sergeant Cal issued the citation himself, he did not take any steps to protect Officer Waters from the consequences of his actions or cover up the situation. While this type of integrity should be expected of public officials, they unfortunately do not always behave with this level of honesty. And
he even said that he would slap the sergeant. He's jokingly, he was like, I'll punish him, he was not happy with that guy.
I encourage all law enforcement officers to learn from Sergeant Cal's example. Mr. Kopiec also gets an A+ for maintaining a respectful and understanding demeanor throughout the interaction, complying with both officers' requests, and keeping a cool head in an abnormal police encounter where the officer was the one who made the mistake.
Very abnormal.
Car accidents are always stressful, but when a police officer is involved and at fault, they become even more challenging to navigate. I commend Mr. Kopiec for being able to control his emotions and behave respectfully in this unusual situation.
Yeah,
and for understanding that police officers, just like the rest of us, are only human. Let us know if there's an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.
Good for that. Good for him for not losing his cool, because I think I might have. I think I might have been a little bit annoyed. But, that's just how that is. You can't always get pissed off when shit like that happens. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work that way. I am going to put question period on, and I'm going to quickly run and grab some Naperson. So we're gonna hear this. Trudeau is actually in the House of Commons yesterday. This was from yesterday. And Pierre Poilievre is definitely amping things up here. And Trudeau actually is actually here to respond. So we'll hear that we're gonna have the French going first, so I'm going to use that opportunity to quickly go grab the Naperson pills.
Oral questions, question oral. The Honorable Leader of the Official Opposition.
C'est la responsabilité.
It is the Prime Minister's personal responsibility to invite heads of state to the House of Commons. It was the Prime Minister's responsibility when President Zelensky was invited here. The government has its security agencies, diplomats, and intelligence agencies. They could and should have checked the list of all those who were present and recognized during the visit. Will the Prime Minister finally come out of hiding and take personal responsibility for the embarrassment and monumental shame caused on the global stage by him, the Right Honourable Prime Minister? Mr. Speaker, on behalf of all those in this House, I would like to apologize sincerely for what happened on Friday.
Oh, shut up.
And for the situation that President Zelensky and the Ukrainian delegation were placed in. For all those who were present, the fact that we paid tribute to that individual without knowing who he was a terrible error and a violation of the memory of those who cruelly suffered at the hands of the Nazi regime.
Mr. Speaker, it was the personal responsibility of the Prime Minister to invite President Zelensky to the floor of this House of Commons. It was his personal responsibility to make sure it was a diplomatic success.
Yeah.
It was his personal responsibility to continue to lead the government that has the security, intelligence, and diplomatic agencies that could have and should have vetted all individuals who were present and recognized. Yet, this Prime Minister allowed for a monumental, unprecedented, and global shame to unfold in this chamber.
Facts. All of those are facts. And they can blame Anthony Rota all they want, but this falls in the Prime Minister's lap.
Will he take personal responsibility for this shame and personally apologize on behalf of himself?
Yes, on behalf of himself, yes.
On behalf of all of us in this House, I would like to present unreserved apologies for what took place on Friday, and to President Zelensky and the Ukrainian delegation for the position they were put in. For all of us who were present to have unknowingly...
It sounded like he just said for the physician they were all put in instead of position.
...recognize this individual was a terrible mistake.
Like they were all put inside a large doctor.
Who suffered grievously at the hands of the Nazi regime.
How robotic was that bullshit? There was even like a pause between when he said acknowledgement of the Nazi regime. Like what kind of William Shatner bullshit was that? Oh my god, that's who I just realized that. He speaks in the same rhythm as fucking Stratford Festival William Shatner. That's how Trudeau speaks. Trudeau is treating fucking political speeches like he's reciting lines of Shakespeare. This is literally just another drama assignment to him.
Leader of the official opposition.
Did the Prime Minister's national security, intelligence, or diplomatic officials vet the names of the people that the Prime Minister allowed within mere feet of President Zelensky?
Now this answer I heard part of, and I was like, that's it. I'm putting this in the pile for the stream.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the privilege and responsibilities and rights of parliamentarians are sacrosanct, and that the Leader of the Opposition would be suggesting that any visitor to this House should be vetted by the government of the day is actually a grievous attack on the rights and privileges of parliamentarians.
Wow. So saying that let's go over this step by step. First of all, saying that making sure that people that enter the House of Commons and interact with leaders of nations and vetting them is basically an attack on the rights and privileges of parliamentarians, which is absolutely crap. Second of all, since when was that Nazi guy a parliamentarian? I don't remember him ever being a parliamentarian. He was just a citizen that got invited. When was he ever a parliamentarian?
However, if the Leader of the Opposition or the Speaker or anyone wants our intelligence agencies to vet any of their guests, we would be more than happy to do that in respect of parliamentary rights.
The Honourable Leader of the official opposition.
So the Prime Minister has just said that he allowed the president of a war-torn country, who is perhaps the biggest target of false propaganda and of potential assassinations, to be surrounded by hundreds of people who had not been vetted for their security background, their potential risks that they present, or in this case, the massive diplomatic disasters that they could have brought to that event.
Right, like the fact that, like, all of this Nazi shit and all this surrounding Ukraine, and then you're gonna let a Nazi come to the fucking thing? Like, wow.
So you're really saying that he did absolutely nothing to protect the Ukrainian president from all of those many risks?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the facts are well known here. The Speaker issued the invitation, delivered the recognition,
Yes,
and
throw
has
him
taken
under the
full
bus more.
responsibility.
Drive the bus back and forth over Anthony Arrota's dead body.
The
Yes,
Leader of the
go ahead.
Opposition knows that not one parliamentarian was aware, but the truth does not matter to this.
The fact that none of you knew is either all of you knew and you're all horrible people, or none of you knew and your government is the most unsecure government ever. Neither of those things are good, sir.
This Leader of the Opposition, he distorts, misleads,
He dislorts?
aims to confuse, all for partisan gain. It's all he knows how to do.
The Honourable Leader of the Official Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, again, he deflects blame and responsibility for his personal failings. It is the duty of the Prime Minister to protect our diplomatic reputation. It was therefore his duty to ensure that his diplomatic, intelligence, and security forces ensured there was no one who could potentially present a danger either to the reputation or to the physical safety of the people present at such a massive international event.
Right.
But today, he said he did none of those things, and instead, after he found out about it, he hid in his cottage for 3 days. Is that what it means to take responsibility for this Prime Minister?
Good job. He does not care. I like this about Polyev, that this is a stupid rule. You're not supposed to mention whether or not a parliamentarian is present. And Polyev just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, no, fuck this. He's not here. Why is he not here?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we all know how many years the Leader of the Opposition has served in this House, and we can surely remember all the times he has stood up to defend the honour, the rights, the privileges of parliamentarians. And yet now, in order to make partisan attacks, he is proposing that the
really?
government of the day have the ability to vet and oversee the rights of parliamentarians and indeed of the Speaker to include people in this House, to invite them into this House. I know that the Leader of the Opposition used to have more respect for Parliament than that, but he's busy making a partisan attack.
Wow! Oh my god. So that is the straw man. The straw man is that parliamentarians' rights and privileges are sacrosanct, so therefore, how dare you suggest that we vet anybody coming into this house invited by any of our parliamentarians, because parliamentarians' rights are sacrosanct. No! Parliamentarians are still citizens of the fucking country. They're still under the laws of the country. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Holy shit.
The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. Better late than never, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to congratulate the Prime Minister on his decision to accept the repeated demands to apologize to Parliament and beyond. And his definition of the Leader of the Official Opposition is not entirely wrong either. But I would like to ask the Prime Minister if he has personally called President Zelensky to present his and our apology, and whether he has a strategy to fight the Russians' horrible misinformation campaign along with our allies. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The Russians' horrible misinformation campaign.
Mr. Speaker, it is extremely unfortunate to see that this mistake made here in the House on Friday is being used by the Russians.
What the fuck did you think it would be? That's exactly what Polyev was talking about. About a diplomatic crisis. About being part of a propaganda war that you fucking didn't help at all with. Holy shit. Are you that stupid? And that other that other French NDP, that's got to be an NDP or something like that. So here's Trudeau's actual apology. Here it is. Here's his actual apology to the actual press conference. This is why he was in the House of Commons yesterday, by the way. So he could put this piece of shit out there.
Okay, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is making a statement right now after meeting with caucus. Let's listen.
Invitation and recognition of this man, and has wholly accepted that responsibility and stepped down. This was a mistake that has deeply embarrassed Parliament and Canada. All of us who were in this House on Friday regret deeply having stood and clapped, even though we did so unaware of the context.
So now context matters. First of all, context never mattered for to you guys when we would do something innocuous. But now that you guys have done something that's actually really fucked up, you're like, oh, well, we didn't know the context, and, it's not really our fault, it's this other guy's fault, and, really? Fuck off. Just fuck off, Trudeau. Come on, you can't possibly be that stupid.
It was
or
a
think that we are that
violation
stupid.
of the memory of the millions of people who died in the Holocaust, and it was deeply, deeply painful for Jewish people. It
Yeah,
also
just
hurt
for
Polish
Jewish people.
Roma.
Just for Jewish.
To LGBTQI plus people.
Oh, fuck
disabled
off.
people, racialized people, and the many millions who were targeted by the Nazi genocide.
How about also all of the people that fought to, I don't know, liberate all of the groups that you just mentioned? How about the families that stayed back home to run the home front activities and hope and pray that their loved ones would come home from such a fucked up war? How about all those people that you fucked, that the memory that you screwed with? Or does that not matter? Do those people not matter? It's just the marginalized people that you can pull on the heartstrings of.
Every year, there are fewer and fewer Holocaust survivors to share firsthand the horrors of what they experienced, and it is therefore incumbent upon us all to ensure that no one ever forgets what happened.
Yeah, no, and it's also incumbent on us to listen to them when they're saying that our leaders are repeating the same shit that Hitler was. And it's incumbent on us to listen to the World War II veterans that are saying the same thing. And it's incumbent on us to listen to the people who were actually involved in that type of history when they say, stop erasing that shit.
I also want to reiterate how deeply sorry Canada is for the situation this put President Zelensky.
No. Canada isn't sorry because Canada didn't do shit. Your fucking government did it and made us look like a bunch of idiots. You need to be sorry for on behalf of Canada.
And the Ukrainian delegation in. It is extremely troubling to think that this egregious error is being politicized by Russia and its supporters to provide false propaganda.
Politicized by Russia and its supporters. Did he just call Polyev a Russian supporter? Like, did he just backhandedly lump Polyev in with the Russian propaganda machine and Russia in general? I really think he just did.
Ukraine is fighting for. Friday's joint session was about what Canada stands for, about our steadfast support of Ukraine's fight against Putin's brutality, lies, and violence. It was a moment to celebrate and acknowledge the sacrifices of Ukrainians as they fight for their democracy, their freedom, their language and culture, and for peace. Yeah,
sure. What are they going to do when there are no survivors left in like 5 years from now? I don't know. I really, really don't know.
This is the side Canada was on in World War II, and this is the side we are on today. Dans quelques instants.
Oh, yeah, sure. Take your French lies and shove them up your ass. Nobody believes you in French, nobody believes you in English. Holy shit, how did I go through everything in an hour? Let's go to solo camp for a bit. Yeah, this is getting bad. Like, I really do think that we are coming up fast on a vote of no confidence. I think the only reason that we're not seeing it right away is because Polyev is being accused of politicizing. So, yeah. As they shop in fully stocked grocery stores through pristine streets. Yep. Pretty much. Pretty much. I wish I could react to, there's a Nickelback song that came out just after Trudeau's second re-election. And I swear to God, knowing the decade that Chad and Mike grew up in, they were born in the 70s, right? So they lived through the last, they were like preteens in the last vestiges of Trudeau Sr. and switching to Brian Mulroney. They lived in Alberta. And I really think that the song The Betrayal is written about Trudeau. I really do. But even if I pause it and listen to it and react to it, I'll still get hit for, what's it called? I'll still get hit for, copyright. This was funny watching this. Well, see, that's the thing, though. The Biden government is no better. Like, the Biden government is legitimately no better than the Trudeau government. They're the same ilk. They do the same shit. It's just that Trudeau and his buddies accidentally let the what's it called? They let the inside thoughts out. Okay, what do we have here? Let's see here. The unhealthiest restaurant in America. Why it's controversial.
When John Basso
Okay, let's put this back to live thingy.
When John Basso first opened the Heart Attack Grill, he had no idea that serving the world's unhealthiest menu would come with so much controversy, countless lawsuits, an avalanche of bad press, and multiple heart attacks on the premises.
How could you not know any of that would happen after opening a place called the Heart Attack Grill? Jesus Christ. Like, are you that stupid?
Prior to opening the Heart Attack Grill in 2005, Basso owned 3 different exercise gyms over a 12-year period, where he had advised clients on their dietary and exercise needs, as well as on techniques of caloric reduction. However, he felt this was an untruthful line of work, stating, "It's disgusting because you're promising people things that are outside their genetic possibility." Instead of
Is it their genetics or is it their willpower? Biden was there, yep. So what member of the SS is Canada government praising this week? Oh, still the same 98-year-old
Instead of being
guy.
a slimy, crooked, dishonest peddler of health and fitness services, I would actually launch a hamburger concept that would be absolutely honest, and that's the only guiding principle.
This is bad for you, and it's gonna kill you.
The first Heart Attack Grill in Arizona featured a front door sign reading, "Caution, this establishment is bad for your health," before they'd later add cash only because you might die before the check clears.
What the fuck? Oh my god, that's so... And then you're like, I have no idea that people would get really sick and people would have controversial opinions on this restaurant. Wow.
Inside, they'd proudly display the catchphrase, "Taste worth dying for." However, the most insane piece of signage was without a doubt this, reading, "Anyone over 350 pounds eats for free all day, every day, unlimited," with the only rules being no taking food to go, no sharing with others, and does not include beverages, although this wasn't the only unlimited service offered by the restaurant.
Instead of a salad bar, there's an all-you-can-eat flatliner fries bar.
To serve the
What the fuck? Okay, this is almost like... this feels like it's encouraging overweight people and fat people to eat themselves to death. Like, this feels like a health nut being like, okay, fine, you assholes don't want to eat healthy and we want to blame your genetics, fine. Eat, you know, it's like the at the Simpsons at the end where they're like, eat all the donuts you want, and Homer's just like, more. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like this health nut got pissed off with not being good at getting people to be healthy. So he just was like, fine, fuck all of you people. I'm just gonna serve you all the shit you want. And I'm gonna rub it in your faces. Like, really? Just, really?
Over the free meals, Basso took a tip from Hooters by hiring a bunch of sexy nurses, with a theme of honesty also extending into the job application process, with questions such as whether the applicant has an innie or outie belly button, who would they have a hot one-night stand with, their opinion on certain conspiracy theories, and a comment stating, "No one gives a damn about your academic achievements, but if you want to bore us with them, go right ahead." As the
Wow. So you're gonna be, not only are you gonna be basically inciting unhealthy people to kill themselves with food, you are also going to be chauvinistic. Okay.
Head of the restaurant, John spends every day dressed as a doctor, stating, "We promote nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, fat, cholesterol, sodium, all the building blocks of a quality, healthy, good time," with these insane statements leading to his first appearance on a local news station.
There is a restaurant in Tempe where the food is so rich they call their big burger the quadruple bypass. Not everybody thinks that's funny, least of all the Arizona Board of Nursing.
The news story then stated that the American Nursing Board had received 5 or 6 complaints about them calling their waitresses nurses. However, 5 or 6 complaints was a small price to pay, given the story was basically free advertising.
Yeah, that's unfortunately, stories like that in the news do end up giving it more advertising than warning about it. And then more people will say, well, I want to try this. I want to go see.
All right, so if you want to bypass, of course, the good kind, now you know where to go. It's called the Heart Attack Grill.
This then turned into further news coverage where John explained the other ways in which the restaurant might kill you.
We don't do Diet Coke. We don't do light beer. We don't even provide lettuce on our burgers.
With the unique approach beating.
Okay, but lettuce on burgers is tasty. Like, it's not just about a health thing. There's something about a lettuce, like, burger, blah, Ninja, shut up. You're distracting my word flow. No, you shush. I fed you. It's your fault that Jordy can't come in here because you're being an asshole. You shush. Fine, go down there. Yes. Anyway, there's something satisfying about a crunchy leaf of lettuce on a burger patty. You want to eat there? I kind of do too. I want to see if they have a good poutine.
Beating all of
Although they're in America, so they won't.
their competitors.
John, this is creating a firestorm. I have a feeling this is just what you wanted.
Well, I can't say that I don't enjoy the publicity. It definitely does pack the seats in the restaurant. We've been so lucky as of recently, our web traffic exceeds McDonald's.com.
After noticing the media stories help the business grow, that attempt to set the Guinness World Record for the world's unhealthiest burger, achieving such with the 9,982 calorie quadruple bypass burger, although this gluttonous piece of food will be served with a side of tragedy.
Fucking Ninja Man. He's trying to eat shit that's on the, like, little crumbs of shit that's on the carpet. He's been fed like 3 hours ago. I must not be paying attention.
The Heart Attack Grill had introduced a spokesperson named Blair River, who at 6'8", 570 pounds appeared in all of the restaurant's ads.
I'm up another few inches. Who needs these old pants? I could eat for free.
In a 2011 news report, Blair talked about feeling incredibly healthy.
This is good stuff. Everyone should be modern sized like myself.
However, he passed away before the interview even aired.
Sadly, we now know how long that was. Blair died last week at the age of 29.
God damn. Even at 6'8", 500 and something pounds, that's not healthy. No, honey, not 982, 9,982.
His family says the cause of death was pneumonia.
Even in death, the Heart Attack Grill maintained their brutally honest branding.
Had he have been thinner, he most probably would have survived that pneumonia.
Aren't you glorifying obesity, which obviously kills?
Absolutely.
With Basso taking this even further in a different interview.
If they do die here, I'm not going to lie to you. That's great for business.
See? He does not care. He is one of those health nuts that's like, fine, you assholes don't want to be healthy? I'll kill you myself.
Say it again. Death is great for business at the Heart Attack Grill.
Although the media's goal of discrediting the founder only did the opposite. It's actually refreshing to see someone so painfully honest. The owner is great, he makes no apologies nor should he. You can't blame him for people doing this to themselves. It's impossible to hate this guy because he's being 100% honest. In a different interview,
no, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's impossible, because I'm feeling pretty hate-like.
Also showed his more compassionate side by stating, cynical people might think this, River's death, is funny, but people who knew him are crying their eyes out. There is a lot of mourning going on around here. You couldn't have found a better person. Even if he was skinny, we would have given him the job. We would have just put a fat suit on him. He just had personality, as did the restaurant's next spokesperson, Ernie Hart, who wouldn't last long either.
Ernie Hart, huh? Was it spelt the way heart is spelt? We need Lizzo to eat there.
Although for a slightly different reason. In October 2011, Basso moved the restaurant to the land of indulgence, pleasure, and poor short-term choices,
Florida?
Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas. I was gonna say Miami? Florida, maybe? Silly. But Las Vegas is another good choice.
The new and improved restaurant featured a public electronic cattle scale, as well as new signage reading "Fighting Anorexia since 2005" and "Send hate mail to," followed by their address.
A cattle scale? Jesus Christ. That's a little on the nose.
The new
don't you
location
think?
also led to a brand new slogan.
Remember, the calories you eat in Vegas stay in Vegas.
As well as an instant increase in business.
We've both doubled in terms of money, in terms of square footage.
However, the craziest change was without a doubt their menu. Despite their quadruple bypass already holding the record for the highest calorie burger, the
Let me check the Streamlabs thingy dingy.
Heart Attack Grill then doubled their invention, creating the Octuple Bypass Burger, which featured 8 patties, 40 pieces of bacon, and 19
hold on.
for the highest calorie burger. The Heart Attack Grill then doubled their invention, creating the Octuple Bypass Burger, which featured 8 patties, 40 pieces of bacon, and 19,900 calories. At around the same point in time, the Heart Attack Grill updated their website to include free video and images for the press, where the motivation for the Octuple Bypass Burger became pretty obvious. They were trying to generate media attention, and this is exactly what they got. The new burger led to over 100 million views worth of exposure on YouTube, as different content creators visited the restaurant to see if they could eat it. Those who could, such as Matt Stoney, were given a ride out of the restaurant in a novelty wheelchair, although there were others who were forced to leave in an ambulance.
A customer at the Heart Attack Grill was rushed to the hospital after eating a sandwich called the Triple Bypass Burger.
In February 2012, an article was published titled "Man Has Heart Attack While Eating at the Heart Attack Grill," which is followed by another article only 2 months later reading, "Heart Attack Grill lives up to its name again this week when a woman collapsed in their Las Vegas restaurant. This marks the second person to fall victim to their horrifically caloric food in less than a year, with
Two people in the Las Vegas restaurant have died. There is now a almost 20,000 calorie burger called the Octuple Bypass. Jesus
the Heart
Christ.
Attack Grill responding in the most brand appropriate way, by bragging about it on their